Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Strebe of Confessions of a Hairstylist, and I'm so excited to be doing this Facebook Live with American Salon. So I'm definitely known for a lot of my updos and braids. So what I like to think about braids is I like to go ahead and put a lot of different combo braids and create one solid braid. So I'm going to show you guys how to do two braiding techniques and make it into a beautiful mermaid braid. Now, these two braids that I'm gonna show you guys how to do, you can certainly do them by themselves or combine them together. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So my beautiful model here, Ashley, has beautiful, beautiful hair. She actually has no layers, which is kind of unheard of, right? So this will work out really well, but it can definitely work well with layers as well. So if you guys had layers at home or your client did, what I would suggest is that you guys add a little bit of curl to the hair. Anytime there's any type of bend to the hair when you're working with braids, it just allows it to kind of bend into the braid so that the hair doesn't pop out. So that's definitely very key. So I went ahead and just curled it with a 1-inch curling iron. She has very nice texture. You don't want to add too much texture to it because you want the hair to be silky as you part and section the hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and comb her out. And we're going to be doing a twisted edge fishtail on both sides. And then in the back, we're gonna be doing a zipper braid. And the zipper braid looks really cool and very complicated, but it's actually quite easy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and comb her out. And I'm gonna go ahead and section her out. So I'm just gonna move her a little forward so you guys can see. Okay. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is section out the front pieces, and we're gonna do that braid first. So we're just gonna go ear to ear on both sides. And anytime you're doing any type of braid work, you definitely wanna make sure that the hair is nicely and combed out. Start with a very clean palette. So section it off on one side. And I'm gonna work on her dominant side first. So she parts her hair, as you can see, left to right. So it's gonna be quite heavy over here. So I'm gonna start with that side first. So ear to ear on both sides, and then we're not gonna worry about the back yet because that's where we're gonna actually be creating our zipper braid. Okay, so I'm not gonna be answering too many questions right now for you guys because with braiding, you gotta keep your pattern going. That's what's really important about braiding. A lot of times people think it's very complicated, and it can be, but really it's just maintaining that pattern. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is I like to always start with a triangle section up front. So have her turn a little bit so you guys can see that. And I always like to go at an angle with it. If you go right at the hairline, you're gonna see that split. So you definitely don't wanna do that. So you guys, this is how I like to start it off. We're gonna do our twisted edge fishtail right now, right? So we're gonna split the hair in half. As you guys can see, I'm gonna get some clips ready. So we're gonna start this off with just a normal standard fishtail braid. So taking a small piece of hair from the right, crossing it over, small piece of hair from our left, and crossing it over. Now we're gonna start that twisted edge. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is take a small piece of hair, and I'm actually gonna have her assist me on this if you don't mind, Ashley. I'm gonna have her holding it, so we just wanna drop that section out and we're gonna pick that section up later. So now we're gonna add on to this section. We're gonna disregard that right section and cross it over to the left. And we're just disregarding that piece, we're gonna pick it up later. So now we're on the left side, we're gonna do the same thing. So that's what's gonna create our twisted edge. So we're taking that piece of hair. I'm actually just gonna drape it across here. Now we're on that left side. We're gonna pick up some hair. I have that left piece of hair. We're just gonna cross it over to our right. Now we're gonna disregard these pieces here and add on to our fishtail braid. So a small piece of hair, cross it over right to left. We're on our left, taking a small piece of hair from underneath and crossing it over. We're just gonna do about 4 passes before we create our twisted edge. So small piece of hair, disregard it, crossing it over. On our left side, we're gonna actually just pick up all this hair and cross it over. So now we're back over to our right side. You can see I'm over directing the hair back. So we're gonna take a small piece of hair. I always like to think of it like a quarter of the section or a third of the section. So this is where you guys wanna pay attention. We're gonna take that small piece of hair and we're gonna exchange it for this one. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna exchange it on top. So it's going over and this is going under and she's gonna hold on to that. So that is what's creating our ridge here, if you guys can see, our twisted edge. So we're taking that section and we're crossing it over to our left. Now we're back on our left. We're gonna do the same thing. Take a small piece of hair, exchange it for the piece that we dropped out, and it's going under and this is going over. So you can start to see that twisted edge. I'm actually gonna clip this guy just in case he moves. So now we're gonna make a couple passes. So one pass, right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. Okay, I'm back over on this right side. I've made a couple passes. I'm gonna exchange it for this piece. And then remember, we're gonna go over. So I'm just gonna turn her slightly so you guys can see. We're taking that section, I'm exchanging it. That piece is going under, this is going over, and she's holding on to it. Now we're on the left side, same thing. Taking a small piece of hair on the left, and we're exchanging it. So we're gonna drop it out of this clip here. Dropping it, it's gonna go under, and this is going over. And I'm just gonna clip it so it stays into place. And then we're gonna go ahead and take that piece right here and go left to right with it. So you can start to see our twisted edge. So again, moving forward, right to left, left to right. I'm over directing the hair back now. Her hair is very fine textured, but she has a lot of it. So we're gonna use some dry shampoo at the end to really expand the hair, add some grit to it. Okay, so now we're on her right. We're gonna exchange it for this piece. She's gonna hold on to that, and you can start to see our twisted edge here. Doing the same thing on our left side. Dropping out this section. And it's going above, clipping it away. So then we have that piece here and we're just crossing it over. So you can really start to see that pattern form now. You can see this is the twisted edge to our fishtail. So we're gonna continue just locking that into place, right to left. So you can certainly do a couple passes or tons of passes, you know, it really depends on how creative you're feeling. You could personalize it. Sometimes I like to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and make it a little bit skinnier. So again, it just really depends on you guys. You guys are the artists here. So a couple passes, we're back over to the right. We're gonna go ahead and exchange it here for this piece going under. She's gonna hold on to that. So you can start to see that pattern. Isn't that cool, guys? You like it? Again, like braiding doesn't have to be complicated as long as you keep your pattern in there. So we're on the left, we're gonna exchange it for this piece. We're gonna drop this section out. Drop that guy underneath, and then we're gonna clip this one on top. Grab my clip here. Do you mind holding this just for a second, sweetheart? This one above here? There you go, just for a second. Right there, cool. Just as I clip that. Perfect. You can let go of that one, perfect. So we're just gonna continue on a couple more passes and then we'll just do a standard fishtail braid and then we're gonna get started on our other braid technique. So again, simple passes, right to left, left to right. Okay, we're gonna exchange it one more time, a piece over right, exchanging it, she's gonna hold on to this ever so slightly. We don't wanna over direct it. It definitely helps with an assistant. So right to left. Now we're on the left side. We're gonna drop this guy here. He needs to go under, and this is going over. Luckily, there's a clip right here we can use. So that piece is gonna go left to right. And then we're just gonna continue a couple passes, and then we're just gonna finish it off with putting these little strands in there. So I love this one, you guys, for like a bridesmaid. This would look so beautiful if you added some curls to it. And I think a lot more clients are wanting those more intricate types of different braids. Everyone's kind of getting sick of just a Dutch braid or a fishtail braid. So that just adds a little bit of variety to it, and it looks really, really complicated. So we're gonna take this section, cross it over, but look how beautiful that looks. So again, cross it over. So that was our last pass. Now we're just gonna go ahead and create a simple fishtail braid by going right to left, left to right, before we move on to our zipper braid. And you guys can always refer back to this video too. If you think I'm going too fast, or if you want to see a step again, this video is going to be on American Salon's Facebook indefinitely, so you guys can always refer back to it. So now that I've gotten to the ends, I'm going to go ahead and secure it with a hair elastic. So I'm just using a clear hair elastic here. And we're gonna open that up and then secure it with a hair elastic. And then I'm gonna really help kind of like personalize this braid. I want it to be a little bit fuller. So you guys see that? So what we're gonna go ahead and do is add some Volume Dry Shampoo by Kinra. And anytime you're using like a dry shampoo or like a texture spray, it's just gonna help bulkify your braid. So I definitely like to use them at the end, just so that braid has a little bit more substance to it too. So aggressively spray. And then I like to go through and make sure that it's nice and full. Spread these little twisted edge out just a little bit. You guys can see that. And then you can always go through too and make that fishtail a little bit bigger as well. So ultimately we're gonna be draping this across into our next braid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip this away for later. And when we clip it away, you wanna be really careful because you don't wanna destroy the braid that we just created, right? So on the other side, I'm gonna do the same technique, but only I'm not gonna connect it to the scalp. So I'm gonna turn her around here. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is do the same technique. Move her a little closer so you guys can see. So make sure you start off with a tangle-free palette. You definitely don't want it to be knotty, or you don't want to get your fingers tangled in there. So on the opposite side, we went ahead and added it to the scalp. This side we're not. So just because her hair isn't as dense as the other side. So we're gonna go ahead, again, splitting it at an angle. So I always like to refer to almost like where the hair parts is the top of your triangle, and we're gonna split it in half there. So at an angle helps it to go with the head shape a lot better. So we have our sections here. All right, so we're starting off with the typical standard fishtail braid technique. So what we're gonna do is a small piece of hair from our right, crossing it over to our left, our first pass. Small piece of hair from the left, crossing over to our right. Now we're gonna create our twisted edge. We're gonna drop off a section on the right and drop off a section on the left. So we're gonna take a small piece of hair from our right. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop that off. I'm gonna clip it away just because our hair is a little bit slippery. So now we're on the left side, and I'm actually gonna have her hold on to that. So she's gonna hold on to that. So now we're gonna disregard these two sections. So right to left, left to right. We're gonna make 3 or 4 passes. So now we're back over on our right side. I'm gonna take a small piece of hair. I'm gonna exchange it for this section that we dropped off. So we're gonna take the clip down, drop it, we're gonna let it fall. We're gonna take this guy and pin him up, taking that small section of hair, and then we're crossing it over. Now we're on our left side, we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna go above, exchange it for that piece. She's gonna hold on to our new piece, and that's creating our twisted edge. We're gonna go ahead and continue that. So right to left, or left to right, continuing. And if you guys want more hair education of mine, I have an educational app called Confessions of a Hairstylist that you guys can find in Google Play and iTunes. So just throwing that out there. Okay, so we're back on our right side. So we're gonna create our twisted edge. So small piece of hair. You can see I'm gonna exchange it for this piece, dropping this section out, letting it fall down, then taking that section here, let's see, letting that fall down, taking this section, and we're actually gonna put it in our clip here. It's actually tricky if you don't have an assistant, just FYI. Okay, so then that piece is crossing over to our left. Now we're back over to our left side here, exchanging it for this piece. So it's going above. It's going above. She's going to hold on to it. So there's our twisted edge. So just continuing right to left, left to right, until we create more of our twisted edge. So I'm going to turn her a little bit. Left to right. Okay, so on the right side, we're gonna go ahead and exchange it. I can't read comments, you guys. It's just me in my studio right now. So I guess there's something about enlarging it. Yeah, I apologize. I can't read questions right now. So we're gonna go ahead and drop this, clipping that piece, and then going over to the left here. And then we're over to the left side, dropping out some hair, exchanging it for this piece. And we're just gonna do that about one more time. I'm just gonna turn her so you guys can see. Okay, so now again, right to left, left to right, continuing on doing our twisted edge fishtail. So we went about 4 passes on this one. So taking a small piece of hair now, we're gonna exchange it to create our twisted edge. I'm dropping out this section. This one's going on top here. So this guy is coming over to our left. We're gonna exchange for the piece that she's holding one more time. Perfect, hold on to that. You guys can start seeing that intricate design. So right to left. Perfect. So now we're just doing a standard fishtail braid at this point. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this clip, and we're just gonna add it to the rest. So you can see this piece, we're just gonna cross it over to the left. Take this piece, cross it over to the right, but we need to secure it. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and do our standard fishtail braid almost to lock it into place. Perfect. And then we are going to secure the ends with a hair elastic. And then we're gonna move on to the next braiding technique. Are you guys liking this? Super easy. All right. So now we're gonna do the same thing we did on the opposite side. we're gonna add a little bit of product in there to plump up the braid. So I'm just using volume dry shampoo, going through, and then just kind of fanning it out a little bit. You guys can see there. Cool. So I'm gonna clip the twisted edge fishtail that we just did. And if you guys are just joining us, you can certainly rewatch this at the end so you guys can see this technique. But now we're gonna go ahead and do a zipper braid technique in the back, which is a little bit more difficult. So, and it's a little bit challenging if you don't have an assistant too, I'm just saying. All right, so I'm gonna actually have you stand up really quick. I'm gonna move her up just a little bit so you guys can see this. Okay, have a seat. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and release our clips in the back. You can see I added a little bit of wave to her hair. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and comb it out, making sure that we're starting with a nice, clean palette. Don't want it to be tangly, you definitely want it to be tangle-free. Move this forward just a little bit for you guys. Okay, so I will say that anytime with working with braids, it's a little bit difficult with body positioning. Now, if you were in the salon replicating this look, you definitely want to be directly behind her, but for teaching purposes, you'll notice that I'm a little bit over to the side, so don't mimic that. You definitely want to be directly behind them. So I will show you guys, best to my ability here, the technique. Okay, so we have our nice clean palette. This is what I like to call a zipper braid. We're gonna go ahead and start with almost like a triangle-like section here on the top. We're gonna split it in half. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a small section of hair from the right, and it's gonna go, so we're gonna take a small section of hair here. This small section of hair is gonna go over and then under this section of hair, if you guys can see. That's our first stitch. Now we're gonna go ahead and clip it away and pick it up later. You guys follow? So you guys can see, we're gonna go ahead and clip it away and we're picking it up later. So now we're over on the left side here. So now we're gonna take a small piece of hair. So we have 3 sections, but we're only working with these 2. We're taking this small section of hair and it's going over, under this section of hair, and now we're gonna clip this guy. I'm gonna tighten this up just a little bit here. So we're gonna take this section of hair and we're gonna clip it away for later. Do you mind holding this, sweetheart, right there? Perfect. So you guys can see we're gonna clip away that section for later. So now we have our 2 sections of hair. Now we're over to our right. We're gonna add a piece of hair here. Grabbing onto it, it's gonna go over this section of hair, under the left section of hair, and now we're gonna go ahead and clip it above here and exchange it for this one that we clipped away before. So I'm gonna have you hold on to this one, my dear. You can, this one right there. This one right here. Perfect, okay. So we're gonna release this clip. So we're releasing this one here. Now we're gonna add hair to this. So we're taking a small section of hair. Actually, let me clip this away for Ashley here. Okay, so we're gonna add a small piece of hair to this left section, right? So we're gonna add some hair to it. So this is the section that's gonna move. So kind of reposition, make sure we're tangle free. So we have a right section, a middle section, and then our left section. So that left section is gonna go over and under, and then we're gonna go ahead and exchange it for this guy. And I'm actually gonna have you hold up right there if you can. Helps if you guys have an assistant. So she's holding on to that. We're gonna drop this section, then I'm gonna clip this away. So now we're back over to the right and we have 3 sections. So we're gonna add hair to our right side here. Taking that section over and then under. You guys see? Then we're gonna go ahead and clip it away, exchange it for this top piece, if you guys can see that clip's holding on to. So if you can hold that. And then I'm gonna release this clip here. Actually hold on to right there, perfect. So, nope, there we go. This one right there, perfect. You guys see, so we released that one. We're gonna go ahead and clip this guy away for later, and then we're gonna add on to the left one. So left side goes over, under, then we're gonna exchange it for this one over to our right. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this back and forth. We can hold this one right here, drop this clip. Perfect. Hold on to this. Clip it away. Okay, so we have our 3 sections. Are you guys liking this one though? Okay, so again, adding some hair to our right. It's a bit tricky if you don't have an assistant, I will say. Clips and models work out really well to help you out. So this is going over and under, and then we're exchanging. So just rotating right to left. Hold on to this right here. Perfect. Release our clip. So we're releasing the clip underneath, re-clipping on top here. Now we have that left section we need to add hair to. Make sure that we have good, nice, clean sections, because after a while it gets a bit tricky. It can get a little tangly, so you want to make sure that you still have clean sections. So this is going over and under, and exchange for this one. Can you hold on right? There you go. Then we're gonna release this clip. This guy right here. Whoop. Okay, hold on to this one right here where my finger's at. Perfect. So we're gonna clip that one. So we're back over to our right. And we're almost running out of hair. Okay, so over, under, exchanging, hold on to it right there, like where my finger's at, perfect. Releasing this clip underneath. On the left side, adding hair to it, going over, under, we're gonna exchange it, and we're almost done. And then all of our hard work is gonna pay off. Okay, we're gonna exchange it now. I'm gonna release this, and then take this clip, hold this right here, sweetheart. Perfect. Isn't she such a good model, guys? So we're back over to right, adding the last bit of hair that we can, going over, under. We're gonna drop this clip out. This piece is going under. This piece is going over. Do you mind holding that right there, babe? Perfect. Clipping it away. Adding the rest of the hair here. So it's going over, under. Now we're back on the right side. We're gonna continue here. So we're gonna go ahead and exchange that piece of hair. clipping that away, exchanging that. So going over, under, and we're just gonna keep on doing that until we run out of hair. Releasing this clip here. Clipping this guy away. Going over and under. Retighten this guy. This guy got a little loose on us here. There we go, very forgiving. And do you mind just holding this, sweetheart? Perfect. All right. So we're back over here. This guy's going under this piece. So it's going over, under. We're gonna exchange it for this piece. And do you mind holding this? And then this piece. Cool. So it's going under, exchanging it. We're getting to the ends here, exchanging it. Over, under. So we're almost done here. I don't think you can, there we go. We just got these little baby ends left. So you can see that now her hair at this point is kind of, the layers are too much. So we're just gonna go ahead and drop these sections, and then we're just gonna create a simple braid. So I'm gonna go under with this, and then just turn it into a normal fishtail braid. Or actually, I'm gonna stop it right this, like here. I kind of like how these ends are out, and I'll probably go through and curl it. So you guys, isn't that cool? So it definitely looked more complicated than it was. We're gonna go ahead and secure it with a hair elastic. It definitely would probably be helpful if you guys had an assistant. Okay, so now we want to make it a little bit fuller, right? So we're gonna go ahead and add some volume dry shampoo in there. And what I like to do is I like to pull the corners just to make it nice and plump and full. So this is what I call a zipper braid. So it kind of looks like a zipper. You have the two pieces in the middle, and then you have the edges. So that's where your zipper comes from. So we're just gonna pull this, pull this. I'll probably curl the ends here if you guys can see that. So now we're gonna drop our side braids, and this is where the combo braid comes in. So I'm just gonna push her a little forward here so you guys can see. So remember earlier, and if you guys are just joining us, I did a different technique on the side. So this is what I call a twisted edge fishtail. So I did the twisted edge fishtail on the sides, and then we did a zipper braid in the back. So we're just gonna go ahead and combine them together. All I'm gonna go ahead and do is drape them across and then fold in the ends and then tuck the ends. Sometimes I'll even go through and tuck them inside the braid and bobby pin them into place, but I really love how this looks, so I don't wanna hide too much of it. So we're just gonna simply drape this across. Just gonna pull it a little bit. I'm gonna fold it kind of in half, and we're just gonna go ahead and bobby pin it on the left side of the zipper braid. So we're just gonna take simple bobby pins here. I'm gonna fold it and then take a bobby pin, and it'll probably take one or two. So from underneath, I'm just pushing our bobby pin in there. I'm also gonna take a hairpin, and this is how I like to make it a little bit more flat to the head, is I like to take textured hairpins. I push on with my finger. Let me get her a little closer to you guys so you guys can see. So I take my finger, right? I take a hairpin, I'm gonna slip it underneath. I'm gonna slightly weave it back and forth. So slip it, and I'm weaving it back and forth to her scalp and through the braid. So that's just gonna help connect it to the scalp, and then I'll go through and I'll kind of push on it, almost giving that hairpin a little bit of bend so that it almost goes to the shape of her head. So just a little bit here, and we're just gonna tuck those in, so like pretend it didn't even happen, right? Gonna do another hairpin trick through here. And you guys, just throwing this out there, I have a lot of private educational classes, but I also have a hair app. If you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking it out. So you can find it for Google Play and iTunes under Confessions of a Hairstylist. And I think I probably have about 30 tutorials in there, from braiding, updos, and then a lot of styles from a lot of my friends, people that I think are really amazing educators in the industry that are doing haircuts or updos as well, so definitely check that out. So now we're gonna go ahead and bobby pin this guy underneath. Again, just pretending it never happened. So that's my big tip for combo braids. You know, like, it probably looks like this is a twisted edge fishtail into a zipper braid, but there's no reason why you can't tuck it and just fold it into it so it looks very elaborate. So all it is two techniques really combined into one. So tuck that. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the opposite side. So we're gonna drape it across as well. I really love how this looks. So I'm gonna do this on top so we don't lose a lot of that detail in our zipper braid. Do you mind holding these, my dear? Okay, so I'm gonna go on the other side here. Are you guys liking this though? So going across here, and I'm gonna bobby pin it right here. Going from underneath again, right? Fanning that out. So, but this side, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and then just kind of almost place this underneath. So just gently pull it underneath. So it looks like almost like a seamless effect. Then I'm gonna go ahead and bobby pin the ends here, just pull it underneath our zipper braid, again, like it didn't happen, right? Perfect. So then we're just gonna go through. So how I like to finish a lot of my combo braids is that this looks beautiful, right? And I like how the ends are a little bit more roughed up because I prefer lived-in braids. This is a little bit too flat for me. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is add a little bit of hairspray in there. Then I like to hold on to the style and then pinch and pull. So if you can go ahead and look back, pinch and pull ever so slightly to kind of create almost like an erratic texture to the hair. So that makes a big difference. Just kind of, and it helps kind of pull up the hair a little bit too, so she has a little bit more fullness to it. Yeah, it would definitely be nice for a wedding. You could just do this combo braid by itself or the zipper braid in the back. Or you could do these with nice kind of curls. That would look beautiful as well. So there's a lot of different ways that you guys can utilize this technique. I'm a type of educator that I like to say, just because I do a style this way doesn't mean necessarily you guys have to do it exactly like this. I encourage you guys to really play around with this technique and really make it your own, because ultimately, I think that's how our industry is going to grow, if we can go ahead and take inspiration from certain people or certain things and really put a twist into it in a creative manner. And I don't know, just have fun with it, get creative with it, and really put our own personal vibe to it. So I'm going to show you guys the side and the back, or the front here. So again, maybe spreading these out, taking some of our hairpins, taking our hairpins here to secure it into place. This is a larger one. So again, just weaving it back and forth, pushing it in there. Maybe even adding some pieces throughout the front, just for some softness might look nice. But you can see it looks really beautiful. Very, very Khaleesi. Who else is on a Game of Thrones kick? I know I am. So, you know, I think setting yourself apart for your clients and learning like different techniques like this is very important. Now you guys can go back into the salon today or this weekend and tell them that you learned how to do a zipper braid and maybe practice on them, upsell them, you know, $50 to $75 with the technique that you guys learned. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. for more education from me, Jenny Strebe of Confessions of a Hairstylist, you guys can definitely download my app, Confessions of a Hairstylist, on Google Play and iTunes. Follow me on Instagram, The Confessions of a Hairstylist, and I actually have a blog, theconfessionsofahairstylist.com, where I update it a couple times a month. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, American Salon. They're definitely so amazing to me, and I'm so proud to be a part of their team. So, all right, you guys, I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little close-up so you guys can see the technique, and you guys can always refer back to this if you guys want to. This will go ahead and stay live on American Salon's Facebook forever. So again, we did a twisted edge fishtail into a zipper braid. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon.